And we are here for the very quick continuation of the previous chat. Thanks to ridiculous Canadian interwebs. But we're here. So continue the conversation. What topic were we on just now, ladies?
I just got in the chat, so I don't know.
Yeah.
We were talking about the Titty Force and the Booty Force.
Oh, the damn tip. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Hold on. Precursor. I was not taking naked selfies or booby pictures or pictures
It's too late. It's too late. Y'all know how long she's been online and she's been in this for at least a good 2 to 3 minutes, and all of a sudden now she's like, oh no, that was okay.
No, JG's at work.
Oh, look.
I
You don't have to technically be there to see the video.
I've had encounters in the workplace, so
shoot him a real quick titty so he can have a nice lunch break.
Oh goodness.
I mean, if he's on his lunch break, he'll need a good pink taco. I mean, that's what else does the man do on his lunch break?
Apparently that pink taco life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying
that's hilarious.
My sister has a question for all of the ladies and
What's
the chat.
that?
She needs to send her best friend a gag gift. She's already sent her a vibrating dildo and a pound of glitter. Any suggestions?
A gag gift.
Yep.
I'm a virgin. I don't know anything.
If you don't shut the hell up.
See, I don't know, because
tiny condom.
Send nobody a gag gift.
That's a really good idea.
Tiny condom.
Like you guys.
Now, send her like some furry handcuffs.
Furry handcuffs.
And a whip.
Tiny condoms. And a whip.
She would enjoy 2 of those very much.
She would enjoy 2 of those. She says that's not really a gag gift.
Hold on. I'm looking on Amazon.com right now. I'll be with you in a second.
All right, excuse me.
Okay, Lauren.
Ooh, what did she say that you said? Okay.
It depends on
She said she's looking stuff up.
I like you. Wait, she the one in Scotland?
Yeah.
I like her even more. Tell her to go to the vaults and see Jimmy for me.
Oh, my sister says, Lauren, you have to go to the vault and see Jimmy for her.
Jimmy's a skeleton they found.
Jimmy's a skeleton.
Is that in the Edinburgh vault?
Is that an Edinburgh vault? Yes, that's what she's talking about.
Photo?
No, Jamie, go away.
No, man, that's some bullshit right there. I've been there loads of times. You should. No, the best thing about that, the best time I've been there was a BDSM night for a club that I used to go to when I was like 18, and it was called Violet Night. Basically, we took over the Edinburgh vaults, and it was just, we had a rope master, a whip master, and there was cages and shit like that. It was pretty cool.
Whip master?
What's that?
A whip master?
That sounds like fun, Lauren.
Yeah, it was.
You can't say that then just skirt past that. I need details.
You want details? Okay. The whipmaster is called Alex Cobra. I'm sure you can still look him up on the internet somewhere, but he makes whips. So he had a whole bag with him made from kangaroo belly and hide. And the bull whip he had that I quite liked was like a 12, I think it was either 12 or 14-foot bull whip with a lead shot in it made of kangaroo belly and hide, and so it was accurate. I got tested on some of those, and the flogger that he had and stuff like that, it was pretty good. Yeah, oh my. I made quite good friends with him.
I bet you did.
I did. And he did a demonstration and stuff like that with the girl that he had with him, but I volunteered. And I remember like I was in a side room with him kind of playing on the fly. So my butt was already red from like the bottom of my back to like just halfway down my thighs. So when I lifted my skirt up to do the whole bullwhip test, like the whole room, and this is an experienced crowd of BDSM lovers, right? I pulled my skirt up and I had like these French panties on, and the whole fucking room was just like gasping because my ass was so fucking bright red, and I'm pale as it is. but he did a running swing with the whip and cracked me right. And I didn't flinch. I took it. I was silent. It was good. It was good. I would just say that. And there was a rope master I got some tips off of, and there was a whole bunch of people there. It was pretty good. But other times I've been to the dungeon when it's just touristy bullshit. You should go if you're ever there during Christmas time, and if you're a tourist and you go to the dungeons, they do a Christmas theme in the dungeons, but instead of Santa Claus giving out presents, it's the devil giving out presents. And he's a dirty devil as well. And he's like, he'll look at you kind of creepy, like, do you want to come sit on my knee, wee lassie? I'm like, oh, no thanks. I'll fucking pass, thanks. But I know what you're talking about, Jimmy the skeleton and stuff like that. So yeah. But I'm going to continue looking up joke gifts. I'll be with you in a minute.
Well, that was interesting.
Dornish,
wins, my lady. I miss your face. How are you?
Hi, Dornish.
Hey.
Yo, Dornish is cool ass people. I got to meet her at the con too. She's awesome.
I'm glad most of the people who were in my chat have filtered over. I'm sorry again, guys. My internet hates me.
Y'all be all right.
Hopefully. At some point.
Okay, TGP, you will not be derailing the chat.
Okay.
On my channel, young man. But I heard you though.
I just found a mug that says sorry, no hablo fuck pardo.
Ooh. I will tell her. Is that on Amazon?
Yeah. I'll get the link to you somehow.
Okay.
I'll find a list. I'll make a list for you.
Okay, yes.
No, Lauren
I
is on the
appreciate
job.
that.
All right,
Yes,
so
it was my internet, Casey.
See, nobody believes that anymore, man. I told you, nobody's gonna believe that anymore. As her face gets redder. Okay, so I believe there was supposed to be talk of the booty force. You know, who y'all got for the booty force? Doesn't have to be a Game of Thrones character. It could be any random character or celebrity.
No, it has to stay Game of Thrones.
Okay, fine. Game of Thrones.
We said that it would be the TV show or book.
Yeah, either one. Either one.
You have other options. Yeah.
Who got the cakes?
Okay, you start off.
Oh, okay, I'll start. All right. Okay. I'm gonna go with Miss Sandy and Daenerys.
Yes.
What's her name? Asha. Yes, she actually does. She has some nice shape on there. Who?
Natalie Dormer. You always used to talk about her.
She's pretty, but she don't got a lot going on in the back area.
She don't got a booty, yeah.
As far as I've seen.
Yeah. But she is like really pretty though.
Yeah, she is very pretty though. All right, so Monero, I'll kick it to you then. Who you got for the booty force?
I already said that I would go with Brandon, but I know he's dead. I get it, but Brandon would have to be
in the house.
And then since Brandon is dead, I'm gonna have to skip over to Dark Star. Yes, I know he sliced off a child's ear, but there was a lot going on. She got in the way. Things happen. Besides,
shit happens.
She's an abomination anyway.
I love how Monero just be, trying to rationalize and smooth over shit.
I'm just saying, she's an abomination anyway, according to Stars Baratheon. She is the product of incest, so I don't think she counts according to that rule. So, I mean, and as much as they say that Jon is pretty, I'd have to test the waters because they keep saying how pretty he is. So I'd have to test the waters. And I know this is going to be probably an unpopular opinion, and I get it. I understand it, and I get it. But I have to see what's going on with Dario because the way they be describing him in Danny's chapters, I'm like, I'm saying, okay, you got a blue beard and all that. Let me just, she's talking about how sexy he is.
Oh yeah.
I'm real excited and moist every time he comes around. I'm like, yo, what's poppin'? Okay, I'll stop this now.
That might be interesting. Okay, T baby, back on you.
She picked all the good ones. I'm like on the same wavelength as Beauty Queen right now. But just add something. I'm gonna throw Khal Drogo in there. I feel like Danny didn't know what she was doing with that. Who else? Of course, Tormund, but TV Tormund, okay, guys? Not book Tormund. TV Tormund. Sometimes I be like tilting my head at John, but John a little too sensitive for me. So I'm like, y'all can have him. The streets can have John. It's fucked up.
Damn, I'm just gonna throw our boy out.
Yeah, he'd be all right. I mean, the hoes was loving him. You know what I'm saying? He got a dragon now. He'd be all right. You hear me? No, he don't have a dragon. He don't. That dragon took that girl and left. Yeah, Beauty Queen took all the good ones. Like, I'm with her on Darkstar. That little girl will be okay. Like, it was just the ear. Like, yeah.
It was just a ear, she got another one. It's all right.
I'm
all
just
right, okay.
She listened to it anyway.
They bandaged it. Like, she got long hair. It'll cover it. Nobody will ever know.
Be
all right.
All right.
Okay, Sam,
She's
I'm
gonna
gonna kick it to you. Sam,
Yeah.
then Lauren, I gotta run to the party.
I've got to say one particular person, and I don't care how upset everyone gets with me. Gendry can get it all day, every day. I don't care.
What is it about him, though? You have to give me details. Bring me to your side.
I don't mind.
I don't know. It's the whole look. It's like the hardworking, the blacksmith. It's just, I don't know.
He did have like nice titties, and he did have nice arms. I will give you that.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure. I mean, I can't pull up a picture, but I'm pretty sure if I recall, I know the actor who plays him, has a pretty nice bum. So Gendry has a nice bum.
TV pod.
Who else? I mean, T's right. Monero kind of named them all. Khal Drogo, of course.
So
What about going back in time? Like, what about Cregan Stark in his heyday?
I don't know what their bottoms would look like.
They're Northmen.
It kind of turned into bottoms to like you would be like, you know what, this one, yeah. That's what it kind of turned into.
Well, normally I don't look at a man's butt. I look at his front. But okay, whatever.
I mean, I'm with you.
I mean, you would throw Tormund in there.
Yeah, Tormund. Again, show Tormund. Show Tormund.
You have to be clear on that.
Yeah, you really do.
It's so different.
Can I add show Podrick?
I said that. Yeah, hell yeah.
Show Podrick?
Hell yeah. Anytime you get a hoe where her job is to fuck you for money and she gives it back, I want to know what's up, what's going on over there.
I mean, Richard
Everybody
Madden.
said Rob. Rob is in it. Rob.
Richard
Yes.
Madden.
Rob
Snow.
You have to say TV Rob because I'm thinking of Bussy.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That one can get it.
If I'm going to go back in time, I'm going to have to say probably who was the attractive, the one that everyone went crazy for, the very attractive looking Targaryen. Oh, what was his name? Oh my god.
attractive Targaryen.
Was it the Dragon Knight?
You talk about
You mean
Daenerys?
like the
The Dragon
or
Knight?
Damon?
Damon Blackfire can get it from the pictures, the
Mhm.
fan art.
you talking about the Road Prince, right?
No,
No.
that Damon can get it too, because
Hell yeah. Yeah,
But-
I think he could get it. Yeah,
I'm
right.
talking about the Dragon Knight, the one that oh my god, they
Aegon the
talk-
Fourth's brother.
I think so, yeah, the one
You're
that
talking about Aemon?
I think
yes,
his
I
name was
think
that-
yeah, the one that had the
Daemon the
dark
Dragon
hair
Knight.
or whatever.
Mm.
I don't remember what
I
his
get
hair
a
looked like.
Targaryen. You gotta have long hair. I think it's just the way you get Targaryen with short hair.
I mean, those Targaryens that those Martell Targaryens though,
Yeah,
Oberyn.
they had the Dornish look.
Oberyn Martell, he can get it.
Oh yeah, I think Oberyn has some cakes. He has some cakes. I see y'all.
Okay,
I wonder
let's
what
go to
the chat has to
Does someone
say.
have their YouTube unmuted?
T.
I don't have it playing.
I don't have it either.
It's not me because mine's muted.
I'll just mute myself, but I don't have anything playing.
Lauren's turn.
It might be no Lawrence unmuted.
No, Lauren's muted. Yeah. So, well, since she's still muted, chat room. Who do y'all got? Who's got the bums? Got the juicy cakes that makes y'all want to look.
Actually, AK, it kind of transferred to who has the booty to like who would you want in the series.
Oh, who would I want?
So you might have to. Yeah.
I don't
TV
know
show
that.
or book related.
I don't know that my choices would change because my
Yeah,
Sandy
that's true.
is hot, Danny's hot, Asha got it going on too.
AK, you can add Nymeria Martell.
She will be a good one. She will be a good one. Her Visenya.
What's the other Martell?
The Black Pearl.
That seemed like your
Black
type.
Pearl. Yeah, I'd probably fuck with the Black Pearl too. Bridge 4, Kev's in the house. What's good?
Hey, Bridge.
Hey.
Oh,
Let's
he
see.
gave a special
So,
shout out to T.
Now there's
He
a
did?
sexy man who walked into the chat. Hey Bridge, how's them squirrels?
Bridge
Y'all, he
is
loves saying my
furry love. I think he might have a little crush.
furry love.
Yeah, Lauren, did you answer the question though?
No, I'm still busy making this list, but carry on.
You can
Oh,
multitask.
she's thinking hard. She's thinking hard.
All right. Okay. So who did I say? Is that my 3 picks for the booty also? Alaria Sand. She can get it. Let's see who else we see. Ashara Dane, because apparently she was like all of the hotness back in the day. I could go for experiencing that.
Oh yeah.
And what's my girl's name? Queen. Well, she was queen for a month, but Queen Rhaenyra. I think she could probably get down. I wouldn't mind that.
Would you do a young
Oh, really? Huh?
A young who?
a young Cersei?
No.
I mean, before
Cersei is on the deadly pussy list.
Yeah,
So-
I was just thinking like we should do that, like the deadly and the deadly
why
for Game of Thrones.
Why is she on the deadly?
Because she's crazy, and I am of
Cause
the
ain't that
mind.
bitch crazy?
Yeah, but I'm talking about before all that, before that. That's why I said a young Cersei, not
Okay.
what she's now.
No, still no.
She's dangerous.
Okay.
She's like her friend.
Yes.
Look at Kev's comment, Kev's list.
No, what did he say? Rhaenys, Nettles, and Ygritte. You know what? When it comes to Kev, that doesn't even surprise me. That is exactly right up his alley.
He may add a dragon or two in there too,
I'm surprised there wasn't a dire wolf on there.
right?
I wouldn't do nimble dick crab, but you can hold hands. You can hold hands.
You gonna be like, man, I don't want to hold your hand. What's up? What's up?
Yeah, hold hands.
Beauty queen hold hands and talk like I got a war to go to. Like, what's up?
We can hold hands.
Hey, we can hold hands. Shit.
Okay, so on to the next thing. Let's see. So we talked about the titty force, talked about the booty force, randoms that we might be attracted to. I don't know what other Thrones lists y'all want us to go through and see.
I have something we didn't talk about yesterday.
What's that?
Robb Stark's wife in the book.
What's her damn name?
Yes, Jane Westerling.
Jane Westerling.
Yeah. I think that was a setup.
Nina Frail. I don't know if y'all know who Nina Frail is. She's part of the people that writes essays for the Wars and Politics of Ice and Fire. I think it's her, Brendan B. Fish, something like a lawyer, the Pelican, something, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They all write essays on this blog, and she wrote a really good essay about Jane Westerling that you guys should check out on their blog. It's really good.
If you can find the link for that, Monero, would you please put it in the chat?
Sure.
Thank you very much, my lady.
I would like to know more about that story. I need more information to come out about her.
Yeah, I think that I do agree with that, Sydney. It's very likely that she is pregnant with Robb's child. However, that's never come into play, so I don't know if we'll see anything about that in the last couple books.
That baby ain't gonna make it.
Yeah, you might be right. You might be right. And the kid probably won't make it, and who knows whether that chick is even still alive or being held captive somewhere or whatnot. But I do think if you look at some other things, I think that was a setup. Like Tywin knows.
Mm-hmm.
You put something as pretty as that in front of a hot-blooded, young wolf teenager, things are bound to happen, and Tywin knows Ned's character, so I think he read the situation correctly, that if Robb, deflowered / dishonored this girl, he was going to marry her, and that would go against the betrothal that he was already in. So that basically gets Tywin the whole house free, pretty much.
And
okay.
Sydney makes a good point here. Moon tea doesn't always work.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
No,
and
but I'm thinking they're going to either kill that.
Go ahead, T.
No, I was just going to say, I just think that whether she took the moon tea or not, whether it works or not, I feel like they're going to kill that girl. Like, they can't have that child be born.
Mm-hmm.
Just can't.
It pulls, it would be a legitimate male heir for Winterfell. So yeah, that's not something that they would allow to move forward if she was pregnant. Some random accident would happen and she'd miscarry that baby.
Well, in the books, when one of Jaime's last chapters, she's being escorted to Castle Rock with Edmure Tully, right? So it could very well be that they may be intercepted by Brendan B. Fish or the Brotherhood Without Banners, so they may not get the opportunity to off her or kill her, because Jaime was smart to say they were going to wait a year to make sure she's not pregnant or she's not with child before they, secured a marriage for her when he was talking to her mother. So it could very well be that, at least I'm of the belief that they're not even gonna make it to Castle Rock. I think either Brendan B. Fish or the Brotherhood Without Banners, or a combination of those two, will intercept that party, and Edmure Tully and Jane Westerling will be rescued. So that's just my thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, either way, even if they don't technically, like, it's not their side that kills her, I just don't see her making it out of that book alive. I just can't see it. But you do make good points.
Yeah, true enough. Sam,
I don't
what
know.
were your thoughts?
I just want more of that story. I want to know what happened. I want to know why she was placed where she was placed, because it's not a mistake. Like you were saying, Tywin's not stupid. And I would like to know more. I want to know what her thoughts are.
Yeah.
I think yes. Well, you can read between the lines when Tywin is having a conversation with Tyrion about the whole thing. You could kind of read between the lines that it was a setup, that Jane was set to take care of Robb when he was wounded, and so and he understood that Robb was his father's son, right? So he knew if anything would have Look, Robb is young. He's a teenager. What is he? 15, going on 16 at the time.
Yeah.
So hormones. He's a pretty girl. He gets the news that both his baby brothers have just been killed. You know what I mean? He's going through a lot of emotions, and she's probably like, oh my God, he's cute. She was having a Sansa moment. Okay, so she's cute. Oh my God, like, ooh, you're so handsome. And they're alone, and I'm sure her mother probably kind of like set up the situation. Go take care, kind of like how Liza Tully went to go and help with taking care of Peter Baelish. It was kind of like the same scenario that, okay, Jane, go take care of Robb, and their teenage, hormones and all these emotions took place. And that's what I think Tywin was hoping would happen. It's kind of like Peter says, right? You can set things up, but you never know what people are actually gonna do. You just hope that they do what you want them to do, because sometimes they don't always follow suit, right? Sometimes they might go off and do their own thing, but you hope that the outcome that you're looking for. But I think Tywin read the situation because he understood. I mean, Northmen are not really that complicated. They have this thing with being honorable, right? And if Robb, I think it would have been easy to ascertain or deduct that Robb would have married Jane Westerling if he had sex with her, which is exactly what happened, which culminated in the whole Frey thing happening.
I don't know what is happening. I don't know what's happening in the chat right now, but just let it be known across the realm, we here at House Quill Productions are not responsible for the thoughts, actions, or comments of the chat room. We also do not stand kidnapping. Thank you, management.
I mean, let's not be
I'm okay with it.
Standing kidnapping. I mean, kidnapping in the right situation can turn out, beneficial for both parties. I'm just saying, we should keep it
agree with Beauty Queen.
Me too.
That's because, Monero, the mage, as we call her, she's a wildling mage. And that's how they get their husbands and wives. They steal them. So I suppose I can understand your logic on that subject, my lady. But again, we here at House Quill do not support any types of wrongdoings against our fellow Westerosi and SOC brothers and cousins and sisters and whatnot.
I mean,
just saying.
I'm just saying, I'm pretty sure T wouldn't mind if TV Tormund kidnapped her.
No, she wouldn't.
There's a lot of people who could kidnap me, and I'm gonna be like, "Hey,
I mean,
take me."
you can't really kidnap somebody that wants to go.
No, I'll play along. Oh no, don't take me.
Oh my goodness. How do we get to
he's got any ginger ale. Do you have ginger ale at your house? Canada Dry, please. You have some Canada Dry.
I have the bold
I
Canada
do.
Dry ginger ale at my house, actually. And also, if
She
you
ready,
like
ready.
ginger ale, check out the new bold flavor that they have out. I think you'll enjoy it. It gives me nodes
Is
of
it really
ginger
good?
beer. I like it.
Oh, I love ginger
Sam.
beer. I love
Sam.
ginger beer.
I hope your
It's-
sister likes the list that I made.
I want to see this list, damn it. Don't be
It's in
teasing
the
us.
it's in the
I
private
put
chat.
I put it in the private chat.
Oh, the package wasn't showing up.
It's an
All right.
Amazon list.
Yeah,
She is currently on the phone, but she says thank you.
she's welcome. I hope she has fun looking at it later. It's a small list.
Sure, she will.
I could do a
Oh
bigger
my.
one, but I wanted to keep it short for just now.
I'm sure she will.
The first damn thing that comes up on this list is titled Big Mouth Ink Exercise Block.
Hold on, say that again.
Big Mouth Ink Exercise Block.
Mhm.
What type of exercising you trying to do with the mouth, man?
You
And
read
the
it,
ink.
click on it,
The ink.
look at it properly.
No, I'm not gonna click on that. We're just gonna move right along on the list.
Click it.
Vajayjays, a Fertile Crescent coloring book for adults. There's a coloring book for color vagina.
There's one of Dick's as well.
There are all kinds of adult coloring books.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
Wait,
we're not
okay.
listening to the chat. The chat can have the list as well.
You know what? Yeah, y'all come on this journey with us. Okay, wait a minute. Let me see.
Look it up too.
Let me see if I can get a screen share going here, ladies. Hold on a moment. Let's see here.
And she was like,
Okay, y'all tell me if you can see that clearly on the YouTubes.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the cover art for the Vajayjay coloring book. I didn't know such
Wait,
things.
what? What?
Okay, so let's.
I'm still confused by this exercise block.
Oh, and there,
I actually want that mug.
there's the Dick's equivalent. Okay, then.
There's one with positions.
Is it the Kama Sutra?
No, it's a coloring book.
I don't see that on this list.
Ooh, where?
Yeah,
But,
I didn't get that on the list.
here's the first thing.
Oh, be like,
Place
all
block
right.
on the floor. Walk around it twice. Sit down and relax.
Yeah, I'm slow as shit. I don't get it.
The love implant. No. Let's see. What's this one? Eat a
The
giant bag
JJs.
of dicks, says the unicorn.
I actually like that mug.
Oh wow. The things that we get into.
There's a tiny, tiny replica violin on that list at the bottom as well. Like the world's tiniest violin.
Oh, she's gonna have
I
fun
gotta
with
keep
it.
them jaw muscles toned.
LMR said that fruit does not look appetizing.
I put
That's hilarious.
I put put the link to the essays, the Jane Westerling essays, in our private chat. In
Yeah.
case you want to read it.
I posted it already.
Sam posted it. Yeah, and I will save that
They
also.
have a lot of good essays on their website. If you guys ever want to just, you know, read like some of their. I mean, they focus more on, of course, the politics side of things. But you know, they have some good points that they make. I don't agree with all of them, but they do make some interesting points on a lot of their essays. But Jane Westerling is somebody to watch out for. I mean, the whole Riverlands is going to be something. Like, there's going to be so much stuff happening in so many different places in Winds of Winter. Like, there's so many cliffhangers between Feast of Crows and A Dance with Dragons that sometimes I'm like, I can understand why George is taking a while to finish The Winds of Winter, because he left a lot of cliffhangers between A Feast for Crows and A Dance with Dragons. There's a lot of ground that he has to cover.
Yeah. Do you guys think that it's only going to stay to 2 books?
No.
I do. I think
there's a lot to wrap up.
Yeah. There is, but I think because it's taking him so long to get to like the next book, I don't see him trying to stretch it out even further. I think what's possibly happening is he's having trouble condensing it, but I don't think he has it in him to do like 3 more books, because he's barely getting this one out.
I think
I don't even know when the fuck this book comes out.
I think he is pretty much done with the Song of Ice and Fire's book, at least the main one. And I don't mean done in regards to the books being done. I think he's kind of done with it because he's been concentrating on doing a lot of other books. And I get the impression that he wants to move on and do other things and let his creative juices flow, because so many people are after this book, these last 2 books. And I don't know, he's been quoted to say like Winds of Winter is big enough to crush a rat. Right, so if he does that, he has a big giant, like maybe 1,500 page book or 2,000 page book, and then releases maybe the final book, if we ever get that before he dies. It'll probably be about 1,000 to 1,500 to wrap that up properly. It's such a big story, but he's got so much pressure on him. It's hard to ignore. When you've got, as a writer, if you've got that much pressure on you, you're more than likely to not do that thing that you're supposed to be doing. You'll wander off and do other things because that thing is so much pressure on you, like that you can't focus on it. It's just like anything else in life. If you're at work and you've got a really shitty boss or whatever, and they're putting pressure on you, you're not going to like that job. You're not going to like or want to be there. So it's going to be, I think it's still going to be a very long time before we even see the end of this story, if we do at all. I mean, he could just decide to wrap it up with The Winds of Winter and then be done with it. We could get that instead. But I think because he's focusing on a lot of the backstory, the history of all these different houses, like Fire and Blood's got a part 2 to it. You've got the Wolves of Winter, the Winterfell and stuff like that, and all the other houses that he's building that he's coming along with. And God knows how much fucking notes he's got that do not coincide with Winds of Winter. Like, as a writer, it's going to be, I feel for him, man. It's going to be very hard to get that. And I mean, I feel for his publishers as well that are being extremely patient with him.
Yeah, and I think it's even more complicated because, like, the series is over, and because a lot of people did not like how it ended, I think that's even more pressure on him. So, I don't know. I just don't see him pushing 3 books. And I agree with you. I think he wants to do other things. I think he's, like, over people always contacting him, talking about, when you going to finish, when you going to finish. So, I would think that he want to get rid of these books as soon as possible instead of stretching it out. But I think he just has so much that he wants to like add to it. I just hope that he finished the series first and then he goes back to doing like the histories and stuff like that. That's cool, but like those chapters, those sample chapters was so fucking good. That damp hair chapter? What? I was like, come on, like you can't give me a damp hair chapter like that. And I didn't put that on the one who could get it. And when I tell you this job fucked up, but Euron, he can possibly get it from me. I know he's a twisted person. I might be into that shit. But yeah, that chapter, I was like, give me this damn book. The Tyrion chapter, give me this fucking book. Like, why are you sitting on it? I mean, I know he ain't sitting on it, but it's like, I want the series book. I want to see how it continues. Like, it's cool to give me the back history and added additional Targaryen stuff. That's cool, but I want to know how this story continues because I want to see what his ideas was on how it ends compared to the show.
See, my feelings on this subject are that Winds of Winter has already been done for a while. I think what his issue is, he's having an issue editing it down. And that's why I think we're going to get 3 books, because I don't think he's going to be able to cut what needs to be cut to make Winds of Winter 1 book. I think he's going to end up splitting it into 2 books and then have A Dream of Spring come out.
See, I've had a long-running theory, besides what I was just said, is that he's had, both books are done, and he just was waiting for the show to be over so that he can release them. But because of the backlash, he's delayed them. And obviously, as you made a good fair point, editing them properly and making sure there's no errors in them, no continuity mistakes and stuff like that. And that's very hard with such a big series. I mean, even J.R.R. Tolkien had such a difficult time getting his books perfect because with how he created language and history as the main source of his books, translating that into the typeset and to when you're doing the publishing work on it, a lot of things words can get changed or translated wrong, and it changes the meaning of a certain sentence or paragraph or whatever's going on. So there's going to be not only proofreading and editing for him, but also for the publishers as well. That's going to be a big factor in the whole thing.
Because, and I only say this because I don't know if you guys have checked American bookstores online, but Winds of Winter has been up on as coming soon on quite a few of at least Canadian bookstore websites for a very long time now. They don't usually do that unless a publishing house has said it's coming out, within this time frame.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't know because I haven't checked any of the book sales.
He could have just been petty and just been like, okay, I want to see how they end the show and then make my adjustments accordingly. Because I think he had all good intentions of releasing the last book at season 8, either just before season 8 or just after season 8. And I agree with Lauren's assessment. Listen, this is this man's art, and you can't tell. A person's got to do their art the way that they do their art, right? Because they have to figure out how they want to put the words together, how they want their characters to, what they want their characters to do, and in what time they want to do it. And no artist want to be forced to finish their artistic creation. So to me, in a sense that I think George R.R. Martin probably dug his own hole with that. You know what I mean? I think, if he knew if you didn't have a complete story, you probably shouldn't have sold the rights to HBO to create the show. That's just my opinion. I think if you should have waited, maybe he thought he would have the books finished by then. Maybe that's what he thought. you finished the Dance of Dragons around 2011. I think that's when season 2 came out, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. And then here we are in 2019, and that's like almost 10 years, almost 8 years, and you hadn't finished the books. Maybe he thought he would have it finished by then, and all these other side projects came along that kind of took up his attention, and so he never really got to, complete the product that he had been working on. So I think he kind of dug himself into this kind of, dug his own hole with this one, because he also probably didn't expect the story to be as popular as it was either. So, sometimes those things happen. You never know what will capture an audience. A person will put a story out or write a book, and you don't think anybody's really going to read it or be interested in it. And I think it became such one of the greatest cult, it's going to be considered a cult classic. Just know that, right? This story is going to be considered a cult classic. And I think it went beyond probably what he thought it would have been. And now, like Lauren said, he's probably is feeling the pressure. And the more pressure you feel to try to create this art, the more you don't want to do it, because now if it doesn't come out the way most people think it will, then, everybody's going to be screaming down at you. Oh, how did you do this? Why did you do this? This is crap. It was good. All blah, 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 blah. And you're going to hear a lot of noise. So probably wasn't the best idea to, put this story, put it out as a TV show. If you didn't have the story finished, you would have been better off just keep writing your books, man, doing it in your own time. You were putting out a book like every 5-6 years. You should have just kept it at that. You know what I mean? And then when it was complete, you could have done that, and you would have keep reaping the benefits. I mean, he's reaping the benefits now, but it's probably not what he thought. I'm sorry, I'm rambling on and on and on about it.
No, that is quite fine. I appreciate your rambles.
No, you're making solid points. I agree with everything you said. Like, I really do think that because the story ended, I think it messed him up completely. Because I think he thought that he was going to be able to finish it before they finished the show. And then when he realized that he was not going to make it, then it just kind of got out of his hands. And then you have where the story just kind of took off to a whole different direction. And I think now he's in a situation where he sees a lot of people, not everyone, but he sees that a lot of people did not like how it ended on the show. So I don't know if he's like, well, I might have to adjust some things. It might not even end the way that it did on the show, but you know how it's like the big points are taken. And so it might be that he sees that, people didn't like how it ended. And now he's like, well, maybe I need to adjust this and do this. Or it could be that he just doesn't. I think even if the show wasn't like created, I think he still would have had trouble ending it. Because I've been reading a lot lately, and like some of these stories that I read, they're so good, but what's disappointing is how they end it. Either they rush the ending or it just doesn't make sense. So I think that's probably his biggest thing, even with the show, is just how to end this whole series where you put so much information to like sum it up to its conclusion.
I mean, that's a really good point, because even Stephen King, someone who chucks out 4 or 5 books a year, he, as much as he's great at writing stories at a fast pace, he has trouble ending stories. And that's one thing he's notorious for, as most people who are very ardent readers of him will say that his endings aren't great. But his narrative and how he puts characters together and things like that are really, really good. It's just the endings are hard. I mean, even for myself, when I'm doing just a simple poetry book, how do I end this book? What is the book's theme? How is this book going to have impact and be lasting? And whoever reads it, will it make a change? Will it do something? Like, that's the things you have to be thinking about. I can't just throw in just a random poem. Every book that I write a specific ending poem once I'm done. It's never just this happens to be the end, at the end of my writing book that I've got, I will specifically write a poem for that book at the end. You'll see that once you look through them. If you've got my books, you'll know that. It's a key thing. So, like, as much as your book has got all this content, you need it to have a solid ending for people to be like, that book was fucking amazing. I want to come back to that book. I want to come back to your writing. It's the hardcore selling point, but it's also like, it's kind of, it works like a cliffhanger as well. It makes you want more. So he'll want to end it as his magnum opus, as his Silmarillion, as this great deity of a thing that will make people remember him for years, because books are really a legacy project. They are something that people will remember you by. I mean, he didn't take the RR from J.R.R. Tolkien for no reason, right? He takes a lot of things from Tolkien. Tolkien's very much loved and beloved. He's very much one of the great writers of our last century or two. And I mean, that's what George is going after, despite what he says about, I'm doing this because I love this and blah, blah, blah. And he loves books and he loves making stories and loves doing D&D and all his characters and things like that and his TV history. But it's a legacy project. It's a thing about you want to be remembered. You want this to last for a long time and impact people. And he has done that. But it's all, for him, it'll be all in a thread, because there's a really thin thread, because he has to end this fucking massive story of endless webs and stuff like that. And it's going to be a trial. It's going to be his own long night. That's what that is.
I think also, and correct me if I'm wrong, Lauren, because you've put out you've put out books, you've published, but most writers aren't going to put out sample chapters, multiple chapters, unless it's already pretty much done, from my understanding. Usually you don't. Yeah. Even for myself, when I'm doing my short story book, I've actually put on my Patreon a sneak peek to my short story book, because it's pretty much finished. I am currently writing one final mini epic to go in the end of it. So again, I have a very good hook for people to come back into reading more of my stuff. And I would only put samples up or excerpts of certain stories up if I had nearly a finished product. I wouldn't do a half-finished product. The other reason you would put up sample chapters is to gauge people's opinion and interest, and also because of the longevity between the release of the last book and in between the TV shows, and him trying to make sure there's a definite difference in the show and the book. Showing like, this is where I'm going with this book. And it's not the TV show. This is my story. This is where I'm going. And I think we also have to remember that even though the show ended in a controversial manner, I'll put it politely, his book might not end up like that. His book might end up being the way he wanted it to end, but it's D&D took a different turn with it and did it on their own merit. And so we could be blindsided completely and have these preconceived notions of what George might be writing. I mean, we're not in his head. We're not him. We can't really know fully what's going on. I think he will make some minor changes, but I don't think he'll change his overall plan. When you're writing a book, you write it for yourself initially, right? That's how writing goes. You're not writing for the audience per se. Those who write for the audience do not write good books. And that's my opinion. If you write for yourself, if you write a good story for yourself that makes you feel good and fulfilled and you're doing your purpose, whatever you feel your purpose is, then you will write a good book, because it's genuine, it's honest, it's from the heart, it's your art, it's your creative spirit and soul being put into words, into a solid format or digital format, whatever you choose to publish in. Like, once that book leaves your hands, goes to the publisher and then is put out into the world, that's no longer your book, that's everyone else's book. And no matter how you interpret it, other people will have their own interpretations, much like we all do when it comes to the books and the show as well. What he might think is good, we might not think is good. Our opinions, our morals, our philosophies are all different. And his books are teaching those
things on many different levels. He's a very learned man. He's not going to just throw out chapters for no reason. So yeah, the book. That's another reason why I would say he's probably got both books done. It's just he's busy tinkering with them and getting them edited down and waiting long enough for the show to be out of our minds, so that we can really enjoy the books when they come out.
I totally agree with you, Lauren.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. Well said.
I don't know if the show will ever be out of people's minds, though, to be quite honest. I don't know. I think there's a huge population of people who have watched the show that have never read the books and probably will never read the books, if truth be told, because what they'll do is they'll probably come on channels of people who are book readers and who do make content with respect to the books, and that's how they'll get a lot of the backstories for a lot of things. And to be fair, a TV show will never, I don't think the TV show was ever going to do the book full justice, because there were way too many characters within the book that played a part in that drove a lot of the main characters, one, and second, those characters were aging out. You know what I mean? And when you have a group of actors that have been on a project for, what was it, like 8 years, they were probably tired of doing the same thing. And it's not any disrespect to the viewers, you know what I mean? It's like a whole combination of things. I'm like, yo, George, take your time, do you, dude? I mean, it's your thing. I'm just a consumer. I enjoy your art, so take your time doing what you got to do, man. I'm not here to pressure you to put it out today or tomorrow. Do I want it today? Yes. But am I going to pressure you to do it today? No, because this is your art, man. And like Lauren said, this is his legacy. You know what I mean? When you look, Tolkien left like notes upon notes, if I'm not mistaken, because I was looking at a documentary. He left a lot, and I've read the Silmarillion, and I've read the Children of Hurin, and trust me, those books are not an easy read, but they are so good if you can take the time to try to really get into the story and the backstory, because those are precursors to the actual Lord of the Rings stories, because they make a lot of, mention. And I used to read, I think the last time I actually read the Lord of the Rings all the way through was in 2014. And that's only because I had picked up reading the Game of Thrones by then, and nice. So their stories are, they have like a lot of similar. I think the only difference between the main difference between the two is George R. Martin is more raw in how he deals with the characters. It pulls more on your heartstrings, how nobody is safe. Like, you could have a faith today and then they will be gone tomorrow. So don't get too attached.
Yeah, see, the thing with Tolkien and George, the difference between them is that George is more, he skirts around the idea of magic, whereas Tolkien's more obvious about it. He's more in depth with the fantasy and magic and stuff like that, and elves and whatnot. In George R. R. Martin's books, there's legends of these things, there's mythology of these things, and his characters are more grey rather than good and evil, where Tolkien's have set kind of factions and different kinds of races and stuff like that aren't really at complete risk, whereas in like A Song of Ice and Fire, like you hear about all these different races that were about, but they're not there anymore, and it's more to do with like the humans, the human aspect and things like that. It's that there's And a difference with George is it's less focused on linguistics. Tolkien's very focused on linguistics, on language, he created his own elven language. He created his own elven history, and from his experience of war and being an anti-industrialist, he completely shows like the different stages of this history, this being of the Elvens, how the Elvens came about, how the Hobbits came about, how the Dwarves came about, and he's got such a rich history. I think that's what George is trying to do right now with Fire and Blood and all the other history books that he's putting in. He's trying to imitate that, but he doesn't have the same sort of linguistic prowess with making up the names, with like the Elven languages or the dwarfish languages, etc. And then the whole magical mythology around like Sauron and the wizards, and that the wizards are these spiritual entities charged with giving counsel to the people of Middle Earth. And they're basically, these wizards are put into the bodies of old men. They're immortal, but they're made to be in old men's bodies so that they can be seen as this really wise old figure. There's about 5 wizards. The 2 blue wizards we don't get to hear about. We get to hear about Gandalf, Saruman, and Radagast the Brown. Now, if you notice with those ones, there's 2 dark staffs, 2 white staffs, and the wood staff, which is Radagast. So that's an equal playing field. So you have 2 evil, 2 light, and 1 neutral. The neutral one is Radagast. They all have set boundaries and moral codes and what they want. They are capable of jealousy. They are capable of these things, but they tend to stick within their boundaries. Whereas George's characters are more free-flowing. They are more indulged to sway from who they are, their characters. They could be portrayed like Jamie as a complete arsehole, but have the chance at redemption of becoming something else, as to change who they are. The same with Arya, the same with Sansa, same with like all these other characters that start off what you think is really shitty, really evil. There's a whole mix of things. George is trying to take his own way with it, but he's also including a lot of horror from Lovecraft. There's a lot of Lovecraftian lore in there. There's a lot of gothic and romantic ideas in there as well. Whereas Tolkien's very old world, he's doing the epic. It's not really Shakespearean. It's what's the guy's name again? The guy that did the Fairy Queen, Edmund Spenser. That's what it is. Here's where my degree is coming into play. Edmund Spenser wrote the Fairy Queen as a kind of homage to Queen Elizabeth, but it also was a thing against the Crusades and stuff like that, and this heroism, this hero arc and whatnot. There's defined differences between the two of them. I think George is going for a more human, more grey, more, like, as you said, Monero, very raw approach that really connects you, and that you can sympathize, you can empathize greatly with these characters. You could put yourself into these characters' shoes, whereas in the Tolkien books, it's a fantasy. You're the viewer watching it. You're not in the story itself. You could be maybe walking like a ghost behind these characters as they're going up the mountains or into Mordor. But when you're reading a George R. R. Martin book, you could be that character. You could be that person. You could say, "Oh no, I've been there. I've cheated, or I've got a bastard child," or things like that. Like, those things can come into play. That's why it becomes more real world for us, and especially for me, because a lot of it's based around British history, especially Scottish history, English history, all the royals and stuff like that. It plays on that completely. Sorry, I just went on a complete rant.
No, that's all right. I always appreciate getting information like that.
I was just gonna agree with Lauren. Yeah, George bases his characters, although he might take plot ideas or story ideas, or not imitate, but what's the word I'm using for it? Take inspiration from Tolkien, from all these places. George has used real life history to base these stories around so that people can kind of look at their own history and say, oh, okay, this actually happened. And this is, actually in a way more realistic than I think. It's not a high fantasy, but he does have the fantasy elements in it.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely
agree. If I may, I would really highly recommend y'all listening to the Radio Westeros episode called Heroes. And they do kind of like a deep dive of going into George R. Martin's like frame of mind in how he deals with, because they take a lot of quotes from George R. R. Martin in how he decides on each character's arc. And specifically, they deal with the hero, the idea of being a hero, because he has been quoted to say that everybody is a hero in their own mind. So, I would recommend you guys listening to it. I think it's like a couple hours. I mean, y'all could listen and kind of gauge. I like listening to their podcast because they're a book only, but they do it in such a way where they do a deep dive in explaining a lot of the similarities and where George R. R. Martin gets his inspiration for a lot of the things that happen in the books, or for the different characters that are in the books, where he gets his inspiration from, to kind of give you an idea of what he may where he may be going with a particular character. I mean, and not to mention, there's a lot of, there's quite a few people who do content about Game of Thrones that have like a lot of theories out there. Like there are a lot of theories, which understandably so, because this book is not done yet. And so this is kind of like our way of trying to create an ending that we don't have yet. Right. And so we have to come up with these speculative types of theories as to how a person's character arc is going to end, or where it's heading, based on the material that we already have, right? It'll be interesting to see whether or not they come true.
Can you highlight Phil's comments here? Because he just put, so Phil said he does have a book release order, which you can see how he limits which parts of the story is heard. And then he goes into, from where we are now, Winds of Winter, Dunk and Egg. And then Phil says we can see that we're not going to learn more about Summerhall in Winds of Winter because it's going to take part of Dunk and Egg, the fourth book. So, I mean, it's true. He knows basically what he's writing about. He's just, I don't know. He's, like I said, I think it's more the editing and the trying to figure out how he's going to put out this story, because I think it's already written. I think it's been written. I actually think A Dream of Spring is probably written. I think all the stories are written. I think he just doesn't know how to edit them down to, because he wants the whole story out, but I think it's Winds of Winter is too much.
That could be right. Yeah, and I've thought about that before, and it's not the first time I've heard, some folks theorizing like that. But yeah, all of y'all's points, I definitely like and agree with. But it is, getting slightly a bit later, and I do have a few things that I want to do before trivia comes up. So we're gonna go ahead and shut it down here. Ladies, if you could just say what's up to folks, tell everyone what Citadel of Trivia. They basically, we all jump in the chat room and It's Mary B, and since Mary's going to be on tonight, it's probably going to be fandom as well. And they just come up with different questions, not always Game of Thrones, but random categories, and we have to guess the right answer. And it's always fun.
Cool. I'll go first then. So
Yes.
That's
I'm
tonight.
Lauren. This is my corner. And tomorrow I'll be doing an AQ session with my friend from Twitch for the Win. His name's Win. He's from Canada. He's a really good streamer. He does like Animal Crossing and Assassin's Creed and Witcher games and stuff like that. He's really fun and happy to be around. So if you're into those sorts of things, please come join me tomorrow for that interview. I'll also be posting more poetry videos as well. I may post a follow-up video to the Micah drama that's going on, because I've just spotted a couple of other videos that is getting nuts. And I have some token stuff I'm working on as well. So yeah, stay tuned for that, and have a good night.
Awesome. Sam, we'll go to you.
I'm chewing. I'm sorry. Hold on. Thank you for having me on. Again, I'm sorry that my stream got cut short. My internet sucks. I will see you all in the trivia chat. I'll probably be there lurking. I don't usually participate too much. And hopefully we'll have more of these. And yeah, I'm looking forward to chatting with these ladies some more. I'm very happy to talk to them about all things, but Game of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire is what brought us all here. So, it's always nice to go back to the roots.
Indeed. Speaking of those Weirwood roots, T-Baby.
Yeah. I'm not even going to tell y'all to plug my channel, because I don't know when I'm going to be doing anything. I got to be in the mood and have to have topics and stuff like that. So, you know what I'm saying? I might just be popping into people's streams. Oh, the Titty Force is always strong. It's never going to not be strong, everyone. But, I'm glad I get to kick it with y'all again. It's fun. I feel like I need to read these damn books again to hit on the points, because some I'm I remember what that was, but I don't remember all of that. So, but I'm in this weird mood where I'm reading trashy mangas and I can't stop. So once I get out of that phase, I think I might try to read these books again. So, but thank you for kicking it with me. I had a good time with my ladies. I'm about to eat something good because I'm starving. And I hope AK reminds me of the trivia thing, because I think I want to check that out. So, but that's all. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure to always have you guys on. I will drop the link in our Hangouts chat. And last but certainly not least, Monero the Mage, the golden voice, Benny Jesuit of the realm. Please say what's up to the people.
You just want me to put my titty on, that's all. It's okay.
I didn't ask for no damn titties.
You just want me to put my titty on.
Show the titties.
Can you just say goodbye? What happened to just saying goodbye?
Titty.
It sounded like she said she was going to put a titty on me.
No, thank you.
Listen, thank you so much for having me on, for inviting me. I love having these kind of conversations. Hey, just come. I want to see y'all at the trivia night. I do join in, and I do type, and I be seeing my name pop up second or third, but when I look at the inside chat, I'd be all the way down to number 10. I'd be like, what's up with that, yo? What's up
One
with
chat
that?
to rule them all. Yeah.
So that's gonna be a good time. And the only thing I got is I'll be on tomorrow talking about The Expanse season 1. I think I have it set for 2:00 tomorrow. So if y'all are not doing anything, y'all can come and chat up The Expanse with me.
Nice.
And if you haven't watched it, y'all should hopefully y'all still will come, and y'all won't mind like spoilers. And come, and maybe that might be an incentive for you to go and watch it because it's pretty good. And that's all I got. Thank you, AK. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, T Baby.
All right. And now,
Beauty Queen, where is that show is? What is it, on Netflix, TV? What?
It's on. I know it's on the Sci-Fi Channel, but I'm watching it on Amazon Prime,
okay.
and it's called The
Okay, I had it, and
Expanse.
it's called. What's it?
The Expanse.
How many episodes is it? Is it like something
And
I
you
can
have to-
knock out in
there's
the
a
evening?
lot of weird shit in it.
It's a few seasons now, isn't it? Like 2 or 3 seasons?
No, it's like five seasons. I'm on
Oh, damn,
season
yeah.
3 right now.
Oh, yeah.
But
I can't do that tonight.
it's not a. No, you can't do that. You could do season 1 in a day. You can't do all the seasons. That's why I'm only going to be talking about season 1. But you'd like it because there's weird shit in it, so you'd like it.
Yeah, we know
Monero-
T
Oh,
loves
she
her
knows
weird.
me so well. I
Monero,
don't know why I like weird shit. It's like, it's weird. Let me see it.
Monero said my favorite word.
What's that?
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Spoiler.
I'm not one that really minds spoilers, so
Me
I will
neither.
definitely be in there and see what information the Monero the Mage has to spit at us. But thank you again, ladies, for coming and hanging with me. It's always fun. It's been way too long since we've been able to do this, and over the past month we've been getting back in the groove. So I really hope that we can keep it going. Chat room, thanks for coming through. Jake, Mara J just came in. DA, second in command of the Chat's Guard. Fandom D Saint, my little brother, he is always awesome. Dornish Wench is in the spot. That's my lady. She's such cool people. And me, her, Johnny Crazy, and a couple other folks. We did a full discussion of the Watchmen show that came out with Regina King. It's awesome. Go watch those on Johnny B's channel. Mandolin was in the spot. I believe Phil H was in here earlier.
Mm-hmm.
House Lorebridge.
But he had to go to the store.
Yeah. Leave Phil alone with his Jorah.
Let him have his boo. I know. Let him have his boo thing. I get it. Yeah, we understand.
Thanks for hanging with us. And stay tuned to all of our channels. Because you never know when we're gonna pop on. And I will bid you all adieu. See y'all in trivia.
Feel like Jorah.